Friends, it's really lovely to see you all, and yeah, we're super excited. Those of you that know me, you know that at heart I'm a market trader and a retailer, and if you can't get excited about Christmas and you're in retail, you're in the wrong game. And so for us at True Origin, it's a real privilege for me to be able to share with you a sneaky peek of the Christmas range for 2025. Um, we have reinvented the Christmas range, and we're working with many different producer groups. I'm not going to read the slide out to you because you can otherwise you can read it for yourself. But we're trying to offer our customers an opportunity to give gifts where you know you're giving back as well, and you know that True Origin is committed to quality in terms of product. So it's long gone are the days where you can give someone something that does good but tastes bad. So we are trying to give you a range of really good quality products that have a gift that have a impact at origin. This year we have created a foodie collection. It's a set of gift sets that we're working with different producer groups from different countries as well, and um, uh, different producer groups bringing them together to make a single product. I'm going to show you a picture of them to show off really. So there's three in the range. We've got Foodie Flavors, Foodie Fire, and Foodie Feast. And all the prices that I'm showing you over the next 15 minutes, these are the recommended selling prices. I know that we've got some retailers on the line. We've got some people who are in sell fair trade in their communities as well. But this is the recommended selling prices, so you can get an indication of them. The first one, Foodie Flavors, combines the sun-dried fig balsamic reduction with some lovely olive and rosemary beer bread. You can just imagine tearing and sharing and dipping into that, and the rainbow pepper grinder. And it's amazing that it's all color coordinated as well. But that involves two producer groups from across Southern Africa. The Foodie Fire, as its name would suggest, gives you a little bit of kick with the mango and chili jam, the cayenne pepper, and the garlic beer bread, which is possibly my favorite of the three that we are stocking this year, and a fire sauce, which I'm yet to taste, but I suggest it's all in the title about the fire sauce, and gives us from producer groups in Kenya, Eswatini, and South Africa. So taking a collaboration of producers and mixing them together to create one product. And then final, the foodie feast, all those lovely tastes of cayenne pesto, ginger and chili relish, which I have to say is fantastic with sausages, friends. You try the ginger and chili relish with your sausages, and a kale basil pesto, fantastic in pastas, and that's bringing three producer groups again together. The hampers are growing in popularity. The British Hamper Company anticipates that it will fulfill nearly 2,000 orders per day over the Christmas period. Now, we are tempering our expectation a little bit. We're not expecting to do 2,000 per day. I can just see that Nicola's fallen off of her chair, thought of that, doing that in the warehouse this year. But we are dipping our toe into the hamper range. They're still in production in terms of coming together, and some of the products won't come until late November. So can't even give you an artist's impression, but there'll be three in the range. So we start off from £35, £55, £75. The £55 is for that family member possibly that you think I've forgotten to buy them a present. Let's spend 50 quid on them. But it's full of really great stuff. You can see there with the Just Snack bars, pasta, olive beer bread, mustard, etc. And then you go right up to the £75 range where you're getting bags of rice, an entire larder full of product. And I really, we've seen in the last couple of years of tradecraft and now moving forward that hampers are just a go-to thing. There are specialist hamper companies. I know for many people who run stalls, someone on this call tonight, they're not sure about hampers, whether they will work. I promise you, if you put a hamper out on your stall, it will sell. They really are a go-to present. Hampers and the gifting sets, we think are going to be a big sell this year. Um, we think it will be November, late November, and we will come back to you with details of that in a mailing when they're available. So I mentioned already the wonderful beer bread with our partners at Barrett's Ridge. You get this flour flavor mix from South Africa that lets you just create this wonderfully fragrant bread. It can be a toasty loaf, or you can turn it into a pizza base, make a flatbread out of it. All you got to do is add beer. And for me, I've said this on many calls. This is the perfect present, and I mean this in a non gen, uh, uh, a generic way, but this is the thing I buy my brother-in-law. It's for the bloke who don't know who to buy for quite often. If you get them a beer bread and a can of nice beer and let them go to town with it. My brother-in-law absolutely adores this stuff, makes them all the time now. A fantastic product to make. As I said earlier, the chili mix one, the chili and garlic one, is my particular favorite, and a really great thing to do as well. They come in cases of 10, or you can buy the individual unit at 5.99 per unit. Also, we have a gifting set around the jams. Now, I've just dug this out of the fridge. This is my wife's absolute favorite jam that we make, the papaya and lemon. She can't get enough of that. And we've mixed it with the hibiscus jam. This comes from our friends at Miru Herbs. Um, we've been working with Miro Herbs for many years. They're based in Kenya. It's a cooperative that empowers smallholder farmers through sustainable organic agriculture. Yeah, these little gifting sets are a lovely thing to give somebody. It's not all about food though. Swazi candles. If you don't know about Swazi candles, they were established in 1982, and they handcraft these candles. So that wonderful elephant you can see on your screen is actually been hand carved as well. And the tea lights and the small candles, beautiful. They just set off a Christmas dinner table really really well. They're now exporting to over 20 countries. Swazi candles, a big fan of theirs. Lovely things. The only thing I would say about a Swazi candle is you feel super guilty about ever lighting it because it's such a beautiful thing. So, but a lovely gift to give to somebody, very thoughtful, and from £10 to £24, a really good value gift as well. Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without advent calendars. And so we're working with our friends at Divine in our Friends range to provide both a milk and dark chocolate variation of the Divine chocolate advent calendar this year. Um, yeah, I think it's really important on there. Available while stocks lasts. These things always fly. Divine chocolate, as you know, is the only I think it is still the only. I'll get corrected if I'm wrong. I'm often wrong. Producer owned chocolate factory, as well, where a percentage of the company is actually owned by the producers, as well. And then this year we've teamed up with the team at Ultra Macart, an Italian WFTO company, to bring you, and I can't even begin to pronounce that. Does anyone know how to pronounce that on the call? Because I would get it wrong. Nicolatini, I'm going to call it. But for those of you who don't know, Nicolatini is a lovely chocolate with creamy hazelnut filling. It's got quinola crispies inside it, and it's beautiful high quality cocoa that goes into the chocolate as well. Chocolate coins, always popular, lovely to put under the tree, lovely little stocking filler. We've got the milk and the dark available, and we've got the giant coin from our friends at Divine. And then this is a really special thing. This is a homage. This is a book. You can't really see it from the screen there, friends, but it's a cookery book by Sami Mimi, and it's a homage to Palestinian food and culture. Um, Bustani is his first solo cookbook, Bustani actually means translate from Arabic as to my garden. So I haven't got any pictures of the inside, but I was looking online before this call. Um, Beautifully illustrated, amazing photography on these. It makes you really want to try all the dishes inside it. It's a beautiful hardback cookbook, really lovely present for someone you know who likes cooking, who's and also supporting a great cause with the farmers in Palestine as well. There's over 100 recipes in there, from breakfast to shining plates to big dinner celebrations as well. Simple breads, moist treats, and easy dinners. So you don't have to be a massively great chef to do it. There's easy to follow recipes, but a fantastic gift to be able to give to people. As I mentioned earlier, we have got a great partnership with our friends at Transform Trade, not only with the tea, which has got its Great Taste Award, and it's fantastic to see that getting that. But also we are selling Transform Trade's Christmas cards this year, where a donation is made from every card that is sold, and also the Christmas trade Transform Trade Christmas wrap as well. So all these paper goods, every time you buy one, a percentage of the sale will go to help the work of Transform Trade. Transform Trade, for those that you don't know, grew out of the charitable arm of Tradecraft, and it believes in value and dignity for all people, and it passionately believes that trade and business can generate a wealth and enable can generate wealth and enable people to thrive. Um, and so that's their core. That's what they do. They help with microfinance. They help on big projects around fair trade and sustainability. We've also got a little range of our own products as well, which I'd like to recommend to you today. We've got an apron, all made from fair trade cotton, a lovely tote bag, and we've got our own recipe book, not to be outdone, and with some lovely recipes in there using a lot of the fair trade products that we sell at True Origin as well. And you can find details about all of these products online at our shop, which is www.trueoriginfoods.co.uk. And the last thing to say is that for all of you that are into fair trade and are selling to your communities, or even if you just would like to find out more about fair trade and how you could have a fairer Christmas, this year we will be running a thing called the 12 Days of a Fair Christmas. It will be a 1 hour presentation of 12 ideas for how you can make your Christmas fair. Not all of it will be True Origin Foods products. It will be different organizations that you can support, different ideas about how to have a fair Christmas, and we'll be sending out details about that in the coming weeks.
Tayrene is based in Cape Town, South Africa. She can tell me if that's slightly not right, but that bit of South Africa, I think, right. And is basically the woman behind Barrett's Ridge Beer Bread. And yeah, we're thrilled to have her on the call. We thought initially this wasn't going to be possible and we'd have a little video from her, but it's brilliant that she's actually able here to share with us this evening a little bit more about the beer bread itself, but also about the benefits that it has within the community in South Africa. So Tayrene, over to you.
Thank you. Those gifts look amazing, by the way. I want one of those aprons. They look stunning. Excited for that. Yes, so I'm Tayrene. I started Barrett's Ridge in 2012, thinking it would just be a market on the weekends type of thing. I was lucky enough to actually get a few sales. And when I realized I'd have to move the operation from my kitchen into an actual facility, we partnered up with an incredible company called Ukama Packing Solutions. They're a social enterprise that was started to address the huge unemployment problem in our country. So the companies are all micro enterprises that work through Ukama. It's worker run, it's women focused, and it's to create jobs is the main idea behind it. And then through Ukama in 2015, they started the Ukama Community Foundation, which helps kids in the townships. They provide 10,000 meals a day at the moment. And we started on 400 meals a day. We've gone up to 10,000 meals a day through education centres. In 2020, they started their Superheroes project, which is soup kitchens in the communities. Those are community-led, though. All we did through Ukama was provide the pots, the pans, the gas, the food, but the community leaders took over because they knew where the food needed to go, who needed it the most, where they could set up, where people knew how to get to it easily. So in that aspect, it's really nice working with a company who understands that I want to create jobs and help the community. They started to create jobs and help the community. And so through beer bread sales and any profits, we can help. And on top of that, just the job creation. When we started, I was sewing the bags myself, realized I couldn't do that on my own, started with one seamstress, and we now employ 4 seamstresses that can all work from home, because that's another thing. Transport is difficult in the country. One of our seamstresses does have a disability, so she can't leave home. So she's able to work from home. So little baby that I started, and I didn't ever know it would get this far and this big, and I'm very proud of it and how we are able to help further than just selling a product. And then we got to meet True Origin and do even more good, which is great.
Tayrene, could you say a little bit about the original recipe and so on?
Yes, so the original recipe was my granny's. Okay, the original recipe was my granny's. My original flavor is my granny's recipe with a few spices in it. Granny's original recipe wasn't very exciting. It was flour, beer, and baking powder. And salt. I think she put salt in it. Ours has got salt and pepper and cayenne pepper and a few things. But Granny used to make it every Sunday. That was a staple at Granny's house. If you had lunch at Granny's house on Sunday, there would be beer bread. And the kids would fight over who was pouring the beer and who was mixing it and who was putting it in the oven. And so, yeah, it's something we've been making for generations. And I then took it and started making Christmas gifts in a little glass mason jar and giving it to people for Christmas. And then when I quit my job, and my husband said, "What are you going to do?" I was like, I don't know. He said, "Well, why don't you sell the beer bread?" And I thought, well, who's going to buy the beer bread? He said, well, your packaging's a little bit off, but the product's good, like the bread is good. And so we worked on packaging for 6 months. And I think my best friend at the time had just opened a little deli. And she said, "Oh, no, I'll take 3 bags." And I was like, 3? Wow. I was like, my first sale. I was so excited. And then from her, because she's quite a foodie, from her, I got one of our big online retailers in Cape Town, got in touch with me. And they took an order. And yeah, and it wasn't just selling at markets on the weekends anymore. It's now been my full-time job for 13 years. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Chili is also my favorite flavor. It's very misunderstood, I think, but it is a very good flavor. It's so good. I think people are scared that it's too chili, but it's like sweet chili. It's good.
I mean, some of the things that the recipe cards and recipes on our website really show is that, yes, you can make a really easy loaf of bread with the beer bread. It's so simple. I mean, people talk about, you need to knead bread, you need to prove bread, except you don't need to do that with this at all. It is literally stir a can of beer or a soft drink into the mixture. Make sure to
stick it in the oven.
Yeah, make sure the beer bread's at room temperature. The beer's at room temperature. I would say I did make it once with beer and it wasn't as good, but room temperature beer or soft drink, anything with some bubbles in. preferably with a flavour that you think would go with.
Yes, I was going to say I wouldn't recommend like a Sparkling. We've got, I think your Fanta is different to our Fanta. Our Fanta is like a bright orange fizzy drink. I wouldn't recommend that, but
no.
But I say that, and then some people like it with the ginger flavour. So to each their own.
So yeah, anything like that, put it in the oven. 45 minutes, 40 minutes later, you have a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
It is so quick. It's brilliant, and brilliant as a gift, whether paired with beer or not. It's just it's great. We started doing it when Oxfam asked us to take over the import for Barrett's Ridge. I don't know, 2019, maybe something like that. I can't remember exactly when, but a good few years ago now. And
I want to say 2019 sounds like when we were put in touch through Oxfam. Yeah.
So maybe 2020 was the first year we did your import, maybe. And they still take a decent amount of the product. I think it's a product that we love. This year we just brought 3 flavours in. I think we maybe went too many flavours the last couple of years, so we've just brought the 3 core flavours in, and we're hoping to really build sales of that.
Those are the top flavours. So
but I've seen a little bit of interest actually from a couple of our board members on the chocolate one, so we might have to bring that back again next year, but at the moment it's just the 3 flavours. So I guess, are there any questions for Tayrene? And if not, we're actually running a little bit ahead, which is good. And there's quite a lot of questions I see coming up in the chat about product availability. So we will talk a little bit about that and try and answer some of your questions. But before we do, are there any questions for Tayrene about beer bread or the difference that the amazing...
Susan's just asked about the air fryer. Susan, I actually got a phone call the other day from a customer asking me if you could make it in the air fryer, and I couldn't believe it when he said it to me. I said, I haven't even tried. I don't know why I haven't. So I am actually trying this weekend in the air fryer.
So
I just have a small air fryer, so worry.
I think Karena's just asking, are there flavours we haven't tried? I think we maybe have tried all the beer bread flavours now.
I think you've taken all the flavours.
Substantially, the 3 that we have this year are the most popular.
Definitely.
So that's olive and rosemary, chili and garlic. Chili and garlic, is that right? And
yes, and garlic and herb.
Yes. Alistair, would you like to say a few words as the new chair of our board in terms of the vision for the business?
Can I just say before all this that it's very easy to get lost in the busyness of running a church stall or being involved in fair trade, but it's always wonderful to hear that you're making a real difference to people's lives, and it's at times like this where you can take a step back, or listening to an event like this, you can take a step back, and it can be very draining on you as an individual, or on in the past on me. But the reason I've been involved in fair trade is because I can't change the world, but I can make a little difference. And these sort of things really encourage me that I am making a little difference in my own little way. And for me, that's very satisfying, but it's also very motivating, and I hope that we can continue. You will be aware that Tayrene, you'd be aware that generally the fair trade market is changing. Trading is very difficult. Costs have gone up everywhere, and people are very focused on price, and none of us are immune to that. Neither are any businesses immune to that. So at Tayrene, we're looking at ways in which we can make sure that we continue the good work that we're doing. Our goal is not to sell. Our goal is to sell as much as possible. But the reason we want to sell as much as possible is that means we can buy more. And we want to buy more because it has more impact with the producer partners with who we come across. And so we've been having discussions about how we plan towards 2030. And we don't have a definitive plan yet, but we're getting there. How can we better support the fair trader community? How can we better support our online shoppers? How can we make our products more accessible or available to other retailers so that we can get distribution because we want to buy more? And that's what we're doing. So I'm not really in a position to say exactly what we're going to do. We don't honestly know, but we've got some ideas. I just want to reassure you that our goal is still to find producer groups, to work with them, buy product from them, and in doing so, help people who are in a far worse position than we are, who've got challenges that we've never faced, and just to help them and to give them some dignity and allow them to make decisions about their own lives or to help them educate their children. It's absolutely outrageous that in 2025 we're still talking like this. I joined Tradecraft in around about 1990, and like today, my first day there was a chap called Father Shea Cullen. He was an Irish priest, and he worked at the Preda Foundation or the Preda Foundation in the Philippines. And on day one, he told us about the difference he was making, or not the difference that Preda was making in the Philippines. And from day one, I was completely signed up. I was, this was what I wanted to do with my life. And I'm very fortunate to have worked in fair trade a lot. It's allowed me to get involved and to see a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of changes in the market. I was in fair trade in the good years when it grew and grew and grew and all the supermarkets took it on, and then slowly watched the decline. But we're still making a difference. And I just want to encourage you, and I want to thank you for your support. And yes, long may it continue. And we very much want to hear from you if there's ways in which you think we can help you. We're keen to have feedback, and as we plan for 2030, hopefully by Christmas we'll have something written down, and we'll, in the words of Baldrick, we'll have a cunning plan. Let's hope it works out a bit better than some of his cunning plans. But yeah, so I'll finish there. Thank you very much. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.